Breaking the wall to cultural inclusion through science. Theo Anagnostopoulos, EcosySTEM, Greece.
Okay, let me travel you to northeastern Greece, in this yellow area, which is Xanthi, and where 50,000 Pomaks live. Now, the Pomaks is a very particular population because they've been there for hundreds of years. They speak their own language. They're Muslim. The area is very mountainous, and until 1995, due to political reasons, curfews wouldn't allow them to mix freely with the rest of Greece. As a result, this population has a very strong history of isolation and exclusion. And the teenagers, they're very much lost about their future. And the teenage boys, soon after they finish school, or even before, they migrate to Western Europe to work in shipyards or factories, while the girls, until recently, they were having early marriages and families for the rest of their lives. So my team and I, for the last 10 years, we have been running STEM programs to hundreds of students, training the trainers, which is the most sustainable way in order to create scientific literacy. Now, we thought when we were faced with this challenge, okay, there is an idea. How about if we target the teenage Pomaks and we get them to work with a group of teenagers outside the Pomak villages from the cities surrounding? So in a sense, we would use science education as a language for cultural integration. This was a good idea at the beginning. However, when it came to implement it, it was very difficult because the Pomaks wouldn't want to participate. They wouldn't trust us. So what we did was to actually engage their local science teachers together with the local research center, the academics, who were as isolated as the Pomaks, by the way. And we co-created a curriculum on STEM environmental education. We then engaged all the community, the parents, the teachers, everybody, to get the student training, which ran for 6 months. And the teachers taught the students coding, app inventor, 3D printing, and sensors. And we also gave away some STEM kits. It was very nice to see at the end of the 6 months of those workshops that the two groups worked together, the Pomaks and non-Pomaks, and they came out not only with projects and prototypes that would show, for example, a smart hotel, a smart hospital, or a smart house, which was using renewables and automations. But in addition to this, they created friendships with the other kids from the cities. In addition, for the first time, the kids from the other cities got to know about their neighbors that were only 30 or 40 kilometers away, and they had never mixed with them. As you can imagine, this is a project which was a prototype for one we want to do all around the world, wherever there is political, cultural, or geographical isolation, such as we had in mind to work with the Roma in Bulgaria, the Biaka in Rwanda, and perhaps even the Sami Finns. And I'm not going to tell you very much more about this, how well it did, because it went really well and they want us to run it again and again. And it was all over the media. But I'm going to play a video to you by the kids themselves. You will hear now Pomaks and non-Pomaks speaking about each other on this. Let's go video.
Αρχικά δεν ξέραμε αν θα μπορέσουμε να συνεργαστούμε.
Ξέραμε αν θα έχουμε καλές σχέσεις.
Όμως μετά τα καταφέραμε μια χαρά.
Δεν τους ήξερα και τους έμαθα. Δεν είχα πολλούς φίλους, τώρα κέρδισα πολλούς φίλους.
Το project αυτό ήταν εξαιρετικό.
Με ενθουσίασε πάρα πολύ.
Μέχρι τώρα και μου άλλαξε τη ζωή μου. Έμαθα πολλά πράγματα.
Μπήκαν στο πρόγραμμα. Αυτό το πράγμα δηλαδή, για παράδειγμα εχθές, το τελευταίο μάθημα. Και είναι όλα τα παιδιά μαζεμένα έξω από το εργαστήριο, από το ΕΚΦΕ. Και ανοίγει η πόρτα και ξεχύνονται τα παιδιά μέσα. Δεν το έχω ξαναδεί. Είναι συγκινητικό, θα το θυμάμαι νομίζω όλη τη ζωή, το πώς μπήκαν τα παιδιά μετά από 10 μαθήματα στο τελευταίο μάθημα. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Does it get easier when you've done it already, or?
Well, you know, up here it feels better than my living room. You know,
All right.
they're used to being on the stage.
Questions? Yeah, Christopher.
Thank you. I lost my card somehow.
Okay.
I'll just ask it. Why science as the method for cultural exchange? Why not sport or poetry or something else?
You can use many things. You can use music. You can use. There's many options to use as a common language. This is what we do, and also STEM is very engaging, very interactive. You make mistakes, and we wanted to target those kids tackling their future. They didn't know what to do in their lives. So if you get them into the STEM education and experimentation, this creates solutions. We don't aspire to turn everybody into scientists, but we aspire to turn everybody into a problem solver and enable them to take decisions.
And we have a question from the audience.
Hi, you said the program ran for 6 months. I'm curious what the frequency was within those 6 months. Was it?
It was once a week, 3 hours a week.
Oh, okay, super.
But they had a lot of time to work on their projects.
And Rebecca.
Hi. Could you tell me a little bit more? Was the primary purpose the relationship building, or was it the sort of building of science knowledge? And also, do you have a sense yet of the sort of lasting impact on either of, with either of those?
Okay, I'll start from the second one. Impact is usually very difficult to measure in most STEM programs. You measure how much they ask you to do it again. You see what kind of projects came up. And perhaps if you do it long term, you see who decided to go and study engineering in the end. It's a difficult one to say. From what I can tell you from this particular one, the demand is very, very high now to run it again. It was so difficult at the beginning, I think it's going to be a piece of cake to redo it. What was your first question again?
It was just whether the primary purpose was the relationships between the children rather than those, or whether it was...
Yeah, because the ones that Christian and they speak Greek and they have access to everything in the European Union and Greece, and the others, although they have the same rights, because of the language, they get to be taught 5 different languages, their own Greek, English, Arabic, and because of the Quran, and Turkish as well. So in a sense, these kids are illiterate. They don't know anything in the end. So we had to start from somewhere, and that was science education.
And another question from the audience.
What was the support by the authorities, and how did parents receive this initiative?
The parents were so hesitant at the beginning that we thought, oh my God, it's never going to happen. The authorities were political as always. Okay, let's do it. Once they smell the benefit, then they support. If they don't see the benefit, they're usually heavily bureaucratic. But the main thing which really did help was National Geographic, which was behind this.
Perfect timing. Thank you so much, dear.